in this 2021 to our media police to welcome you and the public to the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism first 2021 Thursday press briefing. Today's press briefing is presided over by the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Honorable Eugene Lami Fagon. Honorable Fagon will introduce to you our guests for today's press conference. But before then, I'd like to inform you that you can get us on the following network: KMTV, LMTV, Power TV, Spoon TV, and other media outlets who are carrying out live. I'd like to read for you an announcement from the National Communication Bureau here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The National Communication Bureau at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism wishes to inform all publishers of newspapers, magazines, managers of radio and television stations, all online media operators, managers of printing presses, advertising, film, cable TV companies, GSM companies, and graphic arts entities operating in Liberia that the annual regulatory registration permit process for 2021 has begun here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The process runs from Monday, January 11, 2021 to Friday, March 5, 2021. The annual regulatory registration of media entities is in keeping with the statutory provision that enforces the ministry's functions through an enactment of law by the national legislature. The Bureau is therefore urging all media and media-related entities to contact the ministry as of Monday, January 11, 2021 to begin the process of registration. The Bureau warns that after March 5, 2021 deadline, media institutions who fail to register or comply will not be allowed to do the following: attend all government media-related functions, receive advertisement supplements, operational permits shall be revoked. Please be advised that the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning will only pay media vendors who have completed their registration process at the National Communication Bureau here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The annual regulatory registration process ends on Friday, March 5, 2021. Effective Monday, March 8, 2021, the National Communication Bureau's inspectorate team, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police, the Liberia Revenue Authority, will commence the enforcement or inspection of all media institutions operating in this country. This announcement is signed by the Director of National Communication Bureau, Ms. Agatha Thompson. I'd like to invite the presiding officer, Honorable Eugene Lami Fagon, who will introduce to you our guest for today's press briefing and make his introductory comment. Minister Fagon.
The Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, in person of Honorable Vani Salif, my dear friend and brother, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, the Honorable D. Zoga Wilson, my friend and brother, Colonel Marvin Sakar of the Liberian National Police, Deputy Inspector General and Chief Spokesperson for the Liberian National Police, Honorable Moses Carter, members of the Fourth Estate, on behalf of the Minister, all Deputy Ministers, all Assistant Ministers, directors, supervisors, the family here at MICAT. I'd like to personally welcome all of you, wishing you a happy new year, and hoping that our first press conference to usher in 2021 is a success. Today's press briefing will be addressed by Honorable Vani Salif, the Minister of Internal Affairs and head of our local government structure under our governance structure. And he will be addressing you on the importance of the National County Meet as it relates to unity and reconciliation. Let me adjust this a little bit. Thank you. I'm sorry. I want to make sure we get all these. Okay, that's fine. Also addressing you today, and for the main reason why we're here, would be the Honorable Minister of the Honorable Minister of Sports, Youth and Sports, the Honorable D. Zioga Wilson, who will expand on the wide range of issues surrounding this year's National County Meet, which is scheduled to commence on Saturday, January 9. We also have the Deputy Inspector General of Police, who will also address you on the security strategy for the county meet to ensure that we go through the county meet as happy people with unity and be able to have the greatest time as citizens of this country. Having said that, I'd like to extend heartfelt thanks and appreciation to our partner, who is a philanthropist. I think you can see all of our flags, the water we will have. Our partner prefers anonymity. You just want to do something great. That's it. We also like to extend our thanks and appreciation to the Boyma Foley Sports Center down the hill, who gave us a great discount on the sporting apparels that we're displaying, and who wants the Liberian people to know that if you're looking for your t-shirt or whatever, go down to his place, represent your county, whatever, and they will be there to supply you. We want to, again, extend our thanks and appreciation. Special thanks to all of you who have come out here today to cover this event. All right. Just quickly, my house cleaning will be brief, simply because we don't have enough time in our favor. His Excellency President Dr. George Manneh Weah is away to the Republic of Ghana to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the President-elect, President Nana Akufo-Addo. The Liberian leader is by this time joining several world leaders, particularly from the West African region, sub-region, for this historic event. And while in Ghana, the Liberian leader is meeting with bilateral partners, with leaders and friends of Liberia. And news just getting in about an hour ago clearly told us that the Liberian president met with French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian, and they had a series of discussions on Africa, on Liberia in particular, and our president did thank him for the level of cooperation between the government of France and that of the government of the Republic of Liberia. As you are aware by now, steps are being taken to make sure government salaries are on time, and we will supply you copies of those steps in order to save time here. Let me state for the record, too often we don't get to praise our country and our men and women in arms, but the director of the United Nations Office of Peacekeeping and Strategic Partnerships, OPSP, Major General Jai Menom, has described the Liberian peacekeepers serving with the United Nations multidimensional integrated stabilization mission in Mali, MINUSMA, as trained, disciplined, and ideally fit for service. And that means you can count Liberia as one of the greatest countries when it comes to peacekeeping. Lest we forget, Liberia has also been praised for her COVID-19 response amongst other countries. And it will shock you to note that Liberia is at the top of the first 10 countries with respect to COVID-19 response. Now, if that's not something to be proud of as a Liberian citizen, I urge you to be far more than proud, because it is your country. Having said that, I have a press statement that I am compelled by compassion and duties to read out to you. The government of Liberia, by and through the Ministries of Youth and Sports and Finance, has announced with immediate effect the end of the Beaches and Waterways project. I repeat, the government of Liberia, by and through the Ministries of Youth and Sports and Finance, has announced with immediate effect the end of the Beaches and Waterways project. The government of Liberia for the past 11 years implemented a citizens participatory program designed and rolled out to create short-term employments whereby the beaches and major drainages in Monrovia were kept clean. In recognition of the tremendous role community leaders played and the patriotic services rendered by community people, GOL remains exceedingly grateful and looks forward to launching similar programs in the nearest future. Meanwhile, all outstanding issues which occurred in the course of the implementation of this program will be addressed by working with various community leaders on a case-by-case basis. The GOL therefore admonishes all beneficiary communities, to remain civil should they have concerns to be settled. To keep the peace is every citizen's responsibility. The ministry will meet with the leaders of Edgewell Project to discuss with them procedures for the payment of arrears. Accordingly, the Liberian National Police shall investigate circumstances leading to the violent acts perpetrated against the Ministers of Finance, Education, and Youth and Sports, while in the course of their duties, sought to address critical concerns of sub-members of the project who had come to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The GOL considers this act as condemnable and will not be tolerated. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is therefore calling on all former beaches and waterway project beneficiaries to remain peaceful at all times and conduct themselves within the confines of the law. Last but not the least on my plate, the Deputy IG will expand further, but our citizens in Pinsville, VOA, and Congo Town surrounding areas can rest assured that the notorious gang militia known by the name of Cuba, they are now under control to a large extent. The leader and some of his top lieutenants are in police custody. Citizens are advised that the government will not tolerate any gang or militia group operating within the confines of its territory. Those individuals will be brought before the court, and they will have to answer to the law. Without much said, at the end of the press conference, I will entertain your questions, but because time is fast spent and the county meet is here, don't forget, I owe no apology. I'm a citizen of Bummy. You can see on my hat and my t-shirt. I'm not wearing coat because we are in it to take it. I will now call on the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs, Honorable Vani A. Salif, to address you members of the 4th Estate. Honorable Salif.
Minister D. Yoga Wilson, Minister of Youth and Sports, a very good partner of mine, Deputy Minister Eugene Lamin Fagon, one of our own from Bomi, 102 distinguished officials of government here present, members of the 4th Estate. This morning, as we assemble here to talk about our county meet, I want to take this time on behalf of the Minister of Internal Affairs and the collaboration between the Minister of Internal Affairs and that of the Minister of Youth and Sports to thank our Chief Patron of Sports, His Excellency Dr. George Manuel Weah, for making sure in the midst of COVID-19, having been fought vigorously under his leadership as well, to talk to the Minister of Youth and Sports and myself, that uniting our people further and keeping the peace that we have will be further strengthened if we can organize the county meets this year. I want to thank His Excellency for that, and the folks as the Minister of Finance under the difficult circumstances where the budget is under stress, national budget that is, yet we have an opportunity to organize this year's county meet. Thank you, Your Excellency. The county meet is about uniting our people. The county meet is about keeping unity among citizens of the 15 counties. When we gather to play among ourselves, somebody has to be the winner. And that who becomes the winner is going to be one of the counties of the 15 counties. So we all become winner in that case. So keeping the peace that we have is very cardinal in the different matches that we'll be playing. Ours is the Minister of Internal Affairs, working with the 15 county superintendents and the local officials, is to emphasize to the teams that unity is a hallmark of this engagement. Whoever emerges victorious is one of us. If we can play in this COVID-19, it should signal to you that yes, we are fighting COVID-19, but we can still foster unity through sports. And I was just talking to some of my colleagues before coming here that a concern being raised with country devil coming out in competitions. I want to assure you all that
all of the counties that are ready and the counties that matches will be played. You're not going to have that. Country level, as a matter of fact, those of us who are traditional children shouldn't come in city areas. So that is never going to be the case. In the case of the bipolar situation with the election, that has been taken care of to a certain large extent. Some punitive action been taken, but of course those are actions that traditionally cannot be mentioned here. Under the leadership of Dr. George Manneh Weah, the head of our country, and the fight against COVID-19. You remember some time past, under my leadership as Minister of Internal Affairs, the President requested that through my ministry to produce 1 million nose masks. That was done. Of course, we still have some to go. But currently, we have stock of nose masks in our possession in our warehouse. This competition, the Minister of Youth and Sport, my very good partner, will expand on this. It's going to be control where participants or people who come in to watch the match, we got to come with nose masks. I just want to let you know that the President produced nose masks, and some of those nose masks will be put to the disposal of the Minister of Youth and Sports, and then they will decide as to how we can go about with them. There's a concern that I want to address here with the counties. The county meets, whenever the county meets is over, the report doesn't come on time to Youth and Sports. The control mechanism that I put in place is that when the county meet ends, before you receive as a county that gratuity that they get, you will receive it without this year county meet report being sent to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and transmitted to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So we cannot repeat this delay when it comes to reporting on the county meets. That said, I want to thank all of you, member of the 4th Estate, the Minister of Information, his deputy is here, my own friend and brother, Eugene Fagon, that if we do not tell our stories, people will tell stories on our behalf, and it will not be favorable because it will not be our stories, perhaps, being told. I want to thank you. If those stories are told, and if you do not carry a forum, those of you that are here today, the first press conference of 2021, then of course a story is not told. I want to thank you. I want to say Happy New Year to all of you. This is the only country we have. If we don't project positive image of this country, the man that's sitting down in Hamburg or Houston or in Strasbourg, he doesn't know that perhaps the local politics that is playing here. Let's all of us be nationalistic in this 2021. Of course, I'm not asking you to be just a praise singer, but let's tell our stories that will attract direct foreign investment to our country. Thank you very much. Let me just close on this note. The county meet starts on Saturday. We're going to march to show to our citizens, let's all of us come out. Let's celebrate ourselves. This is 2021. Let's leave 2020 behind and let's forge ahead. Honor the leadership of our president running this country. Let's keep the peace that we have. This peace being here before 2018. This peace, let's make sure it shall remain here even after 2020, 2030 or what have you. So my request to citizens of this country is let's remain peaceful, and the best way we can do that, those of us that are opportune today, through your help, by electing our president as president of Liberia, appointing us, let's work together. As we work together, the concerns that you have, as we address them together, then our country remains peaceful. The peace that we have, my request to all Liberians today, including all of you here, that peace we should take it so dear to our hearts. That is the peace that will lead us to prosperity. And I want to thank you very much. Once more, Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you.
We'll now call on the Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable D. Zioga Wilson, who will now address you, the members of the Fourth Estate.
The Honorable Vani Salif, Minister of Internal Affairs, and my own distinguished partner in running the National County Sports Meet, Honorable Melvin Saka, 102 of the Liberia National Police, Deputy Minister Eugene Fangon of the Ministry of Information, Honorable Carter, Public Affairs Director of the Liberia National Police, Mr. Amos Williams, the President of the Federation of Liberian Youth Flag, other platform guests, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me say Happy New Year to all of us here today, and we hope that this year will bring us prosperity and so many good things in our country. The theme of this year's county meet is a nation united in combating COVID-19, creating awareness through sports. You all know we use sport to unify people. The COVID-19 has been a deadly pandemic the world over. And we are grateful to the Almighty God that Liberia has not been hit as much as other countries. COVID is real. COVID exists. Therefore, we must take the pandemic very seriously as we go through the National County Sports Meet. We want to encourage our citizenry to follow all of the health protocol that will be put in place. Having a mask before entering the football field is mandatory. Again, having a mask to enter the football field is mandatory. If you don't have a mask, even if you have a ticket, the security forces will ensure that you do not have entry into the stadium. We will also have masks on standby for those who may not have masks, because we don't want you to miss the game because you did not come with your mask. But we are encouraging everyone coming on the football field to come with your mask, because we may not have sufficient for everybody. It's mandatory. We have to protect ourselves and our neighbors, our friends who will be on the field. So we hope that those who have ears to hear can please hear. I also want to thank our sponsors and to be sponsors, because we are still seeking sponsorship. We want to thank them for standing with government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Internal Affairs for their sponsorship and their support. Without their sponsorship, we will not be here today, because whatever little they contribute towards us made a difference. We want to encourage those who've written, who have not responded to us, to please consider responding to us, as we still have things that we need to do. For example, we still don't have the funding for the cash process, and we hope our sponsors can come through, because this has been something we've done for the last 2 years, and we want to continue to do that. Now, the activities for Saturday. The superintendent of Monserrato is here, Honorable Florence Brandy. She will give you more detail on that. But I'm told that we have a march from BW High School down to the ATS. And because Monserrato County is the host, she will give you more details on what she plans. But again, we want to encourage everyone to follow. The 4 counties that are in Monserrato County in the group are to be represented fully during the march. Those counties that are not here, we have discussed with the Internal Affairs Ministry to ensure that they have representation. And if you are just a fan, or you're from the county, you want to join the march, you are also very welcome. We want to encourage everybody to make sure we can have a successful county meet. We pray and hope that the incident that occurred last year during the finals of the county meet, there will not be a reoccurrence. The Ministry of Youth and Sports and Internal Affairs granted clemency to Nimba County. We waived their fees, and they are now here to participate. Whatever happened has happened. Let's bygone be bygone. We've put those things behind us. It's time for us to forge ahead. And I know the enthusiasm is building. I watched some video clips. I followed information on Facebook, and I know the counties are ready. We are ready. We want to extend our thanks and appreciation as well to the Ministry of Finance through its dynamic minister, my friend and brother, Minister Samuel D. Twett Jr., and his team at the Ministry of Finance for making it possible through funding for the county meet. We also want to thank the Chief Patron of Sports, His Excellency Dr. George Manawia, who has continued to stress the need of unifying this country through sports, and that is why the National County Sports Meet is a major deliverable of the government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. On Saturday, the county meet will be officially launched by my colleague, the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable Nathaniel McGill, who will represent the President at the launch of the National County Sports Meet. At this time, I want to thank you all very much. I know we'll take your questions later on, and God bless you all.
On the Superintendent, the Honorable Florence Brandy.
Thank you very much, Minister. Point of correction, my flag is by the Liberian flag, not because I'm the host, but because Monserrato County is the first county and the county that sits the national government. Thank you. Members of the press, my bosses, the people of Monserrato County, and the people of Liberia, let me use this time to extend our appreciation to the government first for its support, and to the Ministry of Youth and Sports for allowing Monserrato County, first of its kind, to officially host the National County meet. This is the first time. You know, Maserado, we always went for the past 8 years I have served in this position. We always went out of town, either Nima, Papolu, Cape Man, Sino, you name it. This time around, we were given the opportunity to host 3 of our brotherly county, that's Lofa County, Maryland County, and Riverside County. You can remember when Maserado won the trophy, the first after 54 years, under my watch, that game was played between Maryland County and Maserado County. This time, the opening of the county meet will be played between Maryland County and Maserado County. Let me say thank you to my Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister Vani Selig, for all the support that he continues to give us as superintendents. Thank you to everyone. The theme of this year's county meet, which is very important, the Minister of Youth and Sports already said, a nation united in combating COVID-19, creating an awareness. We want to, through sports, we want to encourage everyone coming to the field to please wear your mask. We will have masks there provided by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, our minister. But in case we run out, we just want to encourage you to please wear your mask. We also want to say thank you to the National Police who have informed me that they are taking full charge of security on Saturday and the rest of the games. Now, prices to the field. First, let me talk about the parade. The parade starts at 9 o'clock from the B.W. Harris School through the principal street of Monrovia, coming down using the Rana Street to the UN Drive and to the ATS. We want to encourage all counties. If you are not even playing, you know Maserado hosts the 16 tribes from the 15 county called the Governor Council. So we have reached out to them in making sure that the 15 counties be represented with a flag at the parade. If it's even 1 or 2 persons, because we know those counties cannot come because they too are preparing for the game. But we will try that all 15 counties will be represented because we are the official host of the National County Meet. So after the parade, we go to the ATS. There will be a short program where we will have a little indoor program. And from there, we will start with a kickball team, Maserado versus Maryland. Then there will be a female soccer match. There will be a female soccer team, Maserado versus Maryland as well. And at 4 o'clock, Honorable McGill, the Minister of State Presidential Affairs, will do the kick-off for the soccer, and that will start the entire county meet. This is our program. So let me say thank you to everyone, but I have a problem. My problem in Maserado, and I will continue to talk about it. The businesses in Maserado County are not willing to help the county. You can hear my voice. I have been all around to all the companies, all the concessions. In fact, some offices I go to, they do not even want to give me entry into the offices. This is a problem. I want to call on national government that any company, any concession that is operating or will operate in Maserado County, please, the signing of that company's document, let the county have some input, my people. We are the county authority. This is a social program. This is a program that government sponsors that helps to bring the talent out in our young people. This is a short-term job that is being created for young Liberians, young talented Liberians. But the companies, our business, are no help to us. I remember 2 years ago, I went to the National Investment Commission. Why do you sign people investment document and what is part they're supposed to play when it comes to social corporate social contribution to the county they're operating in? Why are we not part of it? Liberia is driving closely towards the decentralization policy. That act has been signed by the president. What is remaining for the act to become operational? My minister is here, I'm not being too political, but it's about time that people give back to the people where they make all their millions from. The companies and concessions here are no good to Montserrat County. Absolutely no good. Maybe in a day or two, let me report myself to the police. You will hear that I will get people and we will start to lock people offices and people doors and let them take me to court, because I know within the concession agreement, within the company's agreement, there is something there they call corporate social responsibility to the county, to the community. They do not want to give up, they do not want to make no contribution to us. Every time I go to youth and sport, they say, all the companies you got, everybody is supposed to, government, national government, not supposed, by right, national government not supposed to give Montserrat 1 cent for county meat. We have people here who are doing businesses. We know they are taxpayers. We respect them, yes. But there is something called corporate social responsibility. They need to give back to the county, which they are refusing to do. They do not have no respect for us. Whoever they are depending on, we will take a fight with that company, and they will go to who they're depending on, and then we all will take it from there. Thank you so much, my people. Montserrat County is ready and prepared to host this year's county meet. And moreover, we are ready again to regain our trophy that we lost 2 years ago. Thank you so much. I'm ready to take questions.
We will now call on the Deputy Inspector General of Police, 102, Colonel Marvin Sako.
Okay, good afternoon to all members of the media here present and our platform guests. To be specific, the Minister of Youth and Sport, Internal Affairs, the Superintendent of Montserrat County, the Deputy Minister of Information, our listening audience. My name is Marvin Sako. I'm the Deputy Inspector General of Police for operation known as Unit 102. I'm here along with Unit 122, the head of our Press and Public Affairs Department, Liberia National Police, Honorable Mose Carter. The purpose of this press briefing is to provide update to the public on 4 major enforcement issues within our country. First thing, I'll start with the county meet. Again, I want to say thank you to the President and Ministry of Youth and Sport and Internal Affairs for coordinating this year county meet with the Liberia National Police. We are going to be in full control of the security of the county meet. And the minister was very specific that no mask, no entry. We are very serious about that. The issue about this global pandemics, the COVID-19, or you call it coronavirus, we've got to make sure that we contain the spread of the virus. So we are asking all of our people that will be coming out to be a part of the county meet. Please come with your mask. As the minister said, there will be masks available, but we don't know the quantity. So no mask, no entry. And even to our joint security, we are saying this. Please make sure you are enforcing the requirement for this year's county meeting. We are very clear. We are not going to condone any act of violence during the county meeting. If you have any issue, I think you need to channel that through the proper authority to address your concern. If you cannot get any redress, I think we have other institutions that are responsible for that. Our country is governed by law, not men. So if you have any issue, please remain civil and channel your issue through the proper authority. But any act of violence, I can assure you that you are going to face the full weight of the law. We are very clear on that. I will go to public safety number 2. So, of recent, on January 4, we have started the enforcement of the no-go zone as related to bar and tricycle operators. Beginning August of last year, we started an engagement with the Federation and Union of the Motor and Tricycle. And for Maine and Inspector General of Police, we have a different leadership style. We chose not to come up with a plan all by ourselves. So we decided to include the Union and the Federation, and we did just that. We should have implemented the no-go zone policy back in October, but due to the special senatorial election that just passed and the season, we decided to relax the enforcement and begin that 2021. So we started on January 4th. We have started that. Again, I want to say thank you to the gallant men and women of the Liberia National Police, to the Motorcycle Union Federation, and the public for the level of cooperation so far. As of today's date, we have impounded about 200 plus motorbikes that are currently at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police impoundment lot. And let me make this very clear here. This enforcement is not going to be a 1 or 2 day thing. We are going to enforce to the end of the year. So we're asking our brother and sister, please, we have no intention to take away your bikes, but if you give us the opportunity, trust me, we will take it from you. But before we turn it over to the traffic court, first violation, you will have to pay a fine of $25 US dollars. You will have to come along with a registration, insurance, driver license before we can turn that over to you. The $25 is not being paid to the Liberia National Police. You pay into the account of the government. You bring your receipt along with your insurance document, registration, and a license, and we'll turn your bags over to you. The second offense is $50 with the same requirement. The third, we will turn your bags over to the traffic court for auction after 3 months. So please, abide by the no-go zone. We have given you some flexibility. We allow them to come from Broadville as far as Club BF Factory, make a left, use the Freedom Road in Carway, and locate down and come to Somada Drive. The tricycle, which is the MICAT, you can come from Broadville as far as Waterside using the old bridge. Central Morale is a no-go zone. We know that there will be always one that will be in violation. But I can show you, if we get hold of your bag, you will never again see it, because we are going to turn it over to the traffic court. We don't want to go that route. So please cooperate with the Liberia National Police. For private owned bags, because we are aware that our businesses use their bags for other purposes, and also government and non-governmental institutions. So what we are saying is that you have to come with your business registration, your license, insurance registration, and also a helmet. You can actually come to the headquarters of Liberia National Police. We have our chief of motor vehicle, Unit 130. His contact is 0770-800-130. Make contact with him. With all your requirements, you'll be given a pass. Again, we have another issue. We have noticed from the public safety standpoint that we are seeing that a lot of vehicles out there are actually commercializing their private owned vehicle. And we are saying this, we are going to come up with a statement along with the Ministry of Transport, but I just want to put the information out now so our people can start working on it. By the end of March, we are going to start another enforcement. Those who are commercializing their private owned vehicles that is not being properly identified, please get your vehicle registered, get the insurance, get your license, and make sure it's sprayed or painted yellow. I repeat, make sure the color of that commercial vehicle, to be specific, the sedan, is yellow. As I said, I'm putting the information out now. We are actually working with MOT, Ministry of Transport, and sometime next week, or by the end of this month, we'll actually come up with the full requirement and press statement. But I just decided to put the information out so those who are commercializing their vehicles can actually start to spray it. And also there will be another requirement. You will have to have the taxi cap on top of your yellow vehicle, the taxi. So, as I said, when we have concluded with the whole project, we will put out the information. We'll give you the information as to where you need to go to get that taxi cap and other requirements based on what the Ministry of Transport is going to put out. So please again, 2021 will be a different year. Public safety is our number one concern. When we started with the motorcyclists, we are going to go to the commercial vehicles. The truck union are meeting in next week. Those trucks that are moving within our main 75 the street, we want to make sure they are safe to be out there. We are going to meet them. We'll give them a deadline also to make sure that those trucks have all the safety requirements to move freely within certain part of this country. So again, I want to say thank you. Before I conclude, I want to touch on, I think Minister Facon mentioned that, the notorious gangs, a group known as Cuba, they have been issued within the Pittsburgh Belt where they have been terrorizing our people. For the past 3 days, we have engaged them at night. As of this morning, the head Vani Kezulu, aka Azonto, were arrested alongside some of his able lieutenants. We have been very clear here. Anyone associated with Cuba will be arrested, and we will make sure that you face the full weight of the law. The hair have been caught. Within 48 hours, we are going to come up with a charge sheet, and they will be processed for legal proceeding. Those armed robbers, there's no safe haven for you guys. Last week, Zone 5, I received a call from, I think, a representative or a worker from information here. There was an ongoing armed robbery alleged armed robbery within the Zone 5 belt. I immediately dispatched the AO for Zone 5 that made contact with the armed robbers, and 2 of the armed robbers were brought down. They are currently at GFK seeking medical attention. This is not the first, this is not going to be the last. We are responsible for the internal security of this country. We're going to make sure we protect life and property. Thank you. Let's put Liberia first. The county meeting is about unity. Please, let's work together as Liberians in making sure we have a violent-free county meeting. Thank you. God bless.
Okay, I know there are several of you members of the 4th Estate with questions. I think you see the platform up there. When you're given the question, the opportunity to ask your question, please make sure you state clearly the direction of your question and to whom. We will limit our questions here. I want to repeat for the records. This is about the county meet, and everything you heard here, you are at liberty to ask. If you have your political question for NEC, please, this is not NEC headquarters. Go there to find out. We want to be specific here today because we don't want to take the validity from the essence of this press conference. Before I let you ask your questions, too often a time this government comes under attack for things that you, the members of the press, know that we said earlier. There was an announcement made for media houses to by March. We're all the way in January. When we start moving on media houses, there should not be a headline to say there is an attack on the media. So imagine January, we're telling you that we're coming for inspection. So I wait for that day when someone says, you don't have a soundproof wall and you're broadcasting, therefore we're going to shut you down. And then we're looking for the person who will say there is an attack on the media, because there wouldn't be an attack on the media. There will be an attack on the media house that failed to follow our guidelines and our rules. Secondly, many of you know by now, many of the cars running, the little cars, you got purple car, blue car, all kind of car that can pick you up, and then you lose your cell phone, and then you say the police not working. When in fact, for the last 3 years, 4 years, they've been after them, even before this government. Paint your car if you are a cab. Now the announcement is made. You got from now all the way to the end of March to go and do what you're supposed to do. If you don't do it, you will say this government is coming after you. Whereas deputy spokesperson for this government, you can see the demolition exercises, you can see the development ongoing, you can see the arrest of gang leaders. The law is going to take its course like never before in 2021. If you think you can misbehave, then of course the time is now to try it, and you will see what's going to happen. I'm thankful to God that we don't have to say leave them because the election coming. Leave them because they will not vote for the opposition, or they will not vote for the ruling party. We have 3 years to set the record straight, and these 3 years left for this government, you can rest assured that no stone will be left unturned when it comes to the law. If you go to the stadium and you want to enter because you are somebody's son or husband, no mask, no entry. You attempt, you'll be in cuffs. There's no joking now. There's no time to play around. Freedom of speech comes with responsibility. If you say, I stole 10,000, it's left for me to leave it. I've left it. But if the person feels aggrieved, you can shout all you want to say, oh, there's an attack on the media. Who cares? If the media can attack, the media itself can be attacked. So we will now entertain your questions.
My name is Vivian, and I do reports for the Heritage newspaper. My questions go to the Minister of Youth and Sport. Minister, how are you emphasizing on the wearing of masks before entering the stadium? So what I want to know is, aside from one of the elements of the preventive measure with regards to the social distancing, what has been instituted by your ministry to ensure that people adhere to that of the preventive measure? Secondly, I would like to know what is contained as the price for the winning team. And my second question, my third question goes to the Master Rider Superintendent. You mentioned about concession companies not adhering to your demand, or they are not complying with what you want them to do. So if you can talk about to name those institutions that are refusing not to comply, at least one or two, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Your first question had to do with social distancing. The capacity of the Antoinette Tottenham Stadium, I believe, is 12,000. We are looking forward to having at least between 6,000 and 8,000 on the field, and the rest will account for social distancing of people that will be coming to the field. And we hope that we can all adhere to that. And your second question was? Oh, well, we have not determined the price yet because we've not gotten a sponsor who will shoulder that responsibility. But I believe last year If my memory serves me well, we gave the winning team, I believe it was maybe 300,000 Liberian dollar, and the second place got 250,000 or 200,000, something like that. We are hoping to stay within the same range as last year. Thank you.
Because of our social distancing, like you heard the minister, will try to limit the capacity. So the VIP for the opening march, which is on Saturday, VIP will be $50. Around VIP will be $15. And around the fee will be 400 Liberian dollars, because we try to limit the number of people going to the king. That answer your question?
I said to name.
Yeah, I come in name it. I come in name it. You asked me to name the companies or concessions. You know, Maserati, we have big companies, Seti Brothers. They are not a building material store anymore. They have a steel factory right here in this county. They have refused to even read our letters when we write them. Simeco does not only import cement, they have a factory here where they produce cement. There are a lot of them. APM Terminal. I mean, just name it. I said all of them. The other day I went to Jetty and we even had a little quarrel. And he told me, I'm feeding everybody. I said, thank you. You feeding the hungry, but still help us with the counted meat. I do not come to you to beg you for Christmas, New Year. When I come to your office, then you know there's a national program that I want you to help us with. That's the only thing will bring me to your office. So Jetty said I should call him tomorrow. Futa said I should call them today, 4 o'clock. I wrote UCI, they could help us with some rice. All the bosses are brought, but they will email the letters. So it's like that. Nobody, all the companies in this county, big hotels, Royal Grand, Boulevard Palace, big hotels, now one of them, now one to even give, if every company was giving us just $200, we will collect enough. We're not asking for more, just the widow's mite. Yeah, but nobody wants to help us. That is the problem we are faced with. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Dr. Gadukwanta from KMTV. My question goes to the Youth and Sports Minister. Mr. Minister, there is a speculation that Tao want to sponsor the county sports meets where you people are not giving them chance, so we would like to speak to them. So,
good afternoon. My name is James Gude Flomo. I report.
please use your mouth.
Well, my name is James Gude Flomo. I report for School FM and TV. I have 3 questions for the speakers. One to the Youth and Sport Minister. First, can you tell us the budget for this year's county meet? What is the budget for this year's county meet? And secondly, you spoke of it, but you did not give duty. That has to do with steps taken to avoid the reoccurrence of what happened during the last county meet. You did not really tell us what you have put in place, the mechanism. And we have observed over the past few years that the county meet is becoming political gradually. So what are you doing to depoliticize the county meet? Because we see top politicians taking part in these county meets over the years and they take it to another level. And to the Internal Affairs Ministry, there is this problem that has to do with players from some of the counties. At times they claim that after the county meet, they are not really taken care of. Their leaders will bring them to town, the superintendent and other leaders within the county, they will not take care of them. And right after the game, they will dash them, most especially when they are not the winners. So what are you doing as the head of the local government to make sure that these people are well taken care of, because it is their talent? And lastly, to the police department, let's talk about this no-go zone. What is it that the police wants to achieve as a result of this no-go? Because we saw it during early administration when the WIA's administration came, they had to avoid it, and again you coming back. Why you have to stop and what you want to achieve at the end of the day? Thank you.
Okay.
Take the last one.
Okay, Basil.
Oh, the last one?
My name is Basil Collins and I report for Joy FM and TV. You talk about some of the measures relating to the COVID-19. But my concern or my question has to do with players that will be participating in the tournament this year. Have you been able to test these players? Because on the pitch, the measures will not be observed. Have you been able to test, or will these players be tested before getting on the pitch? And then two, you talk about the wearing of masks, which is mandatory. What are some of the measures being put into place in making sure that fans or supporters wear their masks on the field?
All right, thank you. The first question about Shintao. Did you say Shintao said he refused to talk to them? Was that the question? So, I have followed Mr. Wilson Yene. In fact, right now as we are here, he's on Facebook hosting a press conference talking about why he was not, or Shintao is not part of the county meet. I also heard some talk on Joy FM, I believe, and other media institutions saying that the Ministry of Youth and Sports is not adhering to the President's mandate on promoting Liberian-owned businesses. What is sad about reporting from some media houses is the fact that most of them practice what I consider yellow journalism. You get an information, you don't seek the other side of the story, you run with one story, you tarnish people's reputation, you say a lot of things without trying to ascertain the facts. So let me address the issue today. Firstly, the journalists that have been saying that we are not adhering to promoting Liberian businesses, I wonder which Liberian businesses are they talking about? Shintao is a Chinese business. It's not a Liberian business. Where's the factory here? The same way Henneken. Shintao, Mr. Yene, just a distributor. That's what he does. So, and in sponsorship, I've never seen somebody will attack you for sponsorship. I thought we should be asking for sponsorship. Their competition. We wrote people. We wrote Shintao. We wrote Henneken. Henneken came through. We can't have Henneken and Shintao at the same time. They are competitors in the business. We're saying you're not a businessman. So to say we did not speak to him, that's not true. He spoke to my deputy minister while I was in the States on vacation. He spoke to me while I was in the States. We spoke, in fact, we planned to meet on 2 occasions. When I drove from Northeast Philadelphia to Trenton, New Jersey, to meet with him, when I got in Trenton, he said, "You are at the same club trying to buy goods." So I don't know what he's talking about. And we deal with Liberian businesses. We don't go against the mandate of our president. And Shintao and Henneken are competitors. We can't have both of them. And so to be clear, Shintao is not a Liberian business, unless they show me the factory in Liberia. He's just a distributor, like Henneken. Thank you so much. On the issue of the budget for this year's county meeting, I believe I said it at the press conference yesterday, I'll repeat, but 300,000 United States dollars. That's the budget for this year's county meeting. It has always been the budget for the county meeting. It has not changed. And you asked me what steps have been taken to make sure the situation that occurred last year will not occur this year. Well, I believe this week, if not today, tomorrow, there should be a workshop for all the participating counties at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. We want to make sure that we go over the rules, make sure that our counties can adhere to the rules. And the rules are the rules. But there are times we don't control people's behavior. And you talk about, I will blend two questions into one. You talk about the politicization of county meet. That's one of the problems. Because everything now in this country is seen through the lens of politics. And it's sad. The sport unites us. It doesn't divide us. So we need to encourage our leaders to recognize that each of us has a responsibility. The president of Liberia is the chief patron of sports. The president has that authority and right to visit or to invite any team in this country, be it basketball, football, or a team during the county meet. And we must always see things in that light. It was due to people politicizing the visit of Nima County with the president brought a problem. We hope they will see things differently. When I played soccer during the days of the late Samuel Kanyando, whatever our president is doing today are the same thing the late Samuel Doe did. There was no difference. But today is different. So I hope that the counties will make sure that we don't see those things differently. And lastly, before we commence the ban on sporting activities, the testing of players was one of the requirements. And that requirement also will be observed during the National County Sports Meet. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The question here is from Flomo, talking about players that are eliminated some point in time and they don't get their pay. That has really not come to our attention because all of the reports that we receive before forwarding to the Ministry of Youth and Sport, there are signing sheets that the players signs on. But, however, I'm sure also if you are eliminated and the tournament or the competition has not come to an end, where we'll get the second phase or the large phase of payment, then you are in a queue. Youth and Sport is waiting for that final payment to come before you can be paid. I'm sure this is where you're talking about. What we can put in place is that if you are eliminated and we have not yet received that final payment so we can settle all of the teams, you may have to just bear patience. But sometimes I think the patience that we're supposed to exercise is not there. When that payment has not come yet, we declare that, oh, they don't want to pay us, then you leave. And then you leave with grievance. So we advise that if your team is eliminated, just bear patient. When we conclude, when we receive the final payment, then we can also settle you. But the one with respect to counties, they all sign. I review those things before I send to Minister of Youth and Sports.
What are we trying to achieve with the no-go zone enforcement? So to be very clear here, we actually started enforcement based on our accident statistics, accident and crime statistics. So we want a reduction in crime and accident. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, the follow-up to that question has to do with, we get a point, but why you had to stop it? Because you came in, you met it, and you stopped. And again, another one to that, since you came out with this mandate on the 4th of this month, we still see people flying the main streets, the main boulevard. And when you ask, they will tell you, those bags are owned by police officers. Are they not part of the no-go zone?
No. I want you to show evidence. Show evidence that you have asked and they say those bags are owned by officers. We shouldn't put politics in this. You understand? We have private and government institutions that have bags, okay? And also to have officers who use the bag to commute to work.
My name is Angel Malema Morris, and I report for Strong FM. Well, my attention has been drawn to the issue of the motorcyclists and the government of Liberia. So it can be recalled during the Madam Solis regime, there were plans to take motorcyclists off the street. And CDC by then was in opposition. And CDC vehemently advocated towards this for it to not happen. So according to the Liberian people at this juncture, I have done some, asking of questions and stuff like that. It feels like this decision at this moment by the certain government is actually untimely. So don't you think this will actually score a political mark for the people from the other side and somehow politically affect this government?
The Liberia National Police is not a political institution. Our job is independent, transparent. Anything that has to do with public safety, we are under obligation to make sure we execute that. So whatsoever we are doing, it is not about politics, about public safety. Thank you.
Well, I do understand that the Liberian National Police is not a political institution, okay? Well, my point right here is that this same government, that the Liberian National Police, members of this same government are in CDC, they advocated for motorcyclists to remain on the street. And this government came now and said we need to remove motorcyclists. Don't you think this is somehow unfair?
As I said, I was very clear here. Our action is based on accident and crime statistics. So based off that, we have to carry on the enforcement. And as I said, we had engagement with the union and the federation. We did not, come up with a unilateral decision. It's something that was done in collaboration with the union and the federation. And we'll continue to work with them. So we're asking the cyclists to actually abide by the lawful instruction given to them by the Liberia National Police. Thank you.
First division, second division, third division. We bring them on board the county meet, we pay them for the time. Right after the county meet, they go right back to the club teams. So we are not responsible for them throughout the whole year. We are responsible for them when they are playing for the counties. Right after that, they go right back to the club team and they start to play for the club. Thank you.
I asked about the testing of players, and you are not two players. Barclay County came from Jordan. You are not two players, you say it's a requirement. But have the players been tested up to now? You have just maybe a day to go to the tournament. That's my question.
But your question needs to be directed at the technical team. I believe under the FIFA regulation that we also follow, it says 24 hours before a game. So why are you asking me whether player are tested? I'm the Minister of Youth and Sports. I'm not a technical man. The rules are there. 24 hours. Today is what? Thursday. The game is being played Saturday. So is that 24 hours? So ask the technical team for the various counties, please.
Thank you very much, Minister. I'm Chokon Plummer and I report for Fabric. There was speculation that you were assaulted by some members of the BTS and Waterway Project. Is it the reason for which the BTS and Waterway Project has been terminated because you were assaulted by those people?
I'm a government official. I'm a public servant. People will curse us. They do it all the time. They were engaged in violent activities which they're not supposed to do. But that is not sufficient reason to terminate or end a program. This program has had lots of issues. And we've done our best to address the issue. When you engage in an agreement with people who have concerns, to address the concern, and the government kept to its part of the bargain, but yet people decided not to adhere to that part, and they keep creating a situation as though the government defaulted. For instance, I know many of you followed the folks that attacked me. They were at the finance ministry for 2 days protesting. while we're paying their colleagues at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. But those folks that were protesting, they've been paid already. Under the agreement, they got 2 months' pay. We're paying the rest of the people who needed to be paid. So why are you protesting when you already got your own payment under the arrangement? So the government decided enough is enough. We ended the program. We will look into those we have to pay, and we pay them through an arrangement again. We'll form a new program, give it a new name, do new recruiting. We believe that's the best way forward, because we are here to solve problems. And when you get a problem, and we are there to solve it, you must listen. Another example, when they converged at the Ministry of Youth and Sports 2 days ago, I was there. The Minister of Finance was there. The Minister of Education was there. We went to address them. I run the program as the Minister of Youth and Sports. The Minister of Finance provides the funding, right? We are the two most important people. We go to meet you to discuss with you your own problem you brought to us, and you decide to attack us? Think about it. Who do you think will solve your problem? We went there respectfully. We engaged there. And not everybody went there without behavior. But there were some people planted who went there purposely to carry on violent act. So for us as a government, we're not tolerating encouraging violence. Thank you.
Well, if you have your own 1 or 2 for me, I will take it. But let me state in closing, let us be very clear. I listened to my dear friend, Angel Morris, asking about the sensitivity of time. I don't know how many of you saw the graphic photograph of that woman head next to the truck tire. Somebody said they got it. I don't know how many of you see people limping around without legs, arms, and what have you. I don't know how many of you have cars and have seen motorcyclists just in between the vehicles, knocking people down, hitting people on the opposite lane, and then you have a decision by the Liberian National Police in the interest of public safety and to save the lives of our citizens, and then you ask about the sensitivity of the time. It is your right, but there is a time for everything. And this time, again, I want to repeat, some of the things that were let go, the next 3 years, we're talking about doing the Liberian people's job. And let me be clear as Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. The Liberian people gave our president a mandate. And that mandate had to do with change. So if we pay you your money 3 years ago and inform you that we will demolish this building to build roads, rest assured, you need to start moving now. All of the alleyways that are supposed to be clear will be clear in the next 3 years. Fire trucks will be able to access communities. So the next 3 years is not what a journalist think, the opinions of journalists when it comes to enforcement and how they feel, or how the churches feel, or how the Ministry of Information propagates. It's about the law. We will make sure if you're supposed to get $20 for your house, you will get your $20. But when the 6 months elapse, the bulldozer will run through it. If you are in the alleyways, before 27 children die like they did at the Muslim school, the Islamic school, we will clear you from there before 27 children die. And if you are a motorcyclist that is not supposed to be on the street after 10 p.m., your bike will go to the police station. And if you are a tricyclist, the same will apply to you. If you're using the opposite lane, like some of us do, I'll be the first to admit, when we're in a hurry, and you don't have a better approach or way of talking to the officer, maybe to get away with it because it is their discretion, then of course they will put you down and handcuff you. And if you think you're going to jump on the hood of a pickup in the middle of traffic and insult the president when you are in violation, of course, when the order is given for you to be handcuffed, you will be cuffed and taken to the police station. And the officers who refuse to carry out the order will have themselves to blame. What are we trying to say here? The last 3 years has been all about democracy, freedom of speech, tolerance. But I think you and I can sit back and say the Liberian people are fed up. And that's why law enforcement is now moving the way they're moving. If you are an armed robber, we're not saying that the police will not do everything to capture you alive. But they will not spend the whole day trying to bring you in alive. Let that be clear. If you are a gang leader, like what we saw in the last 48 hours, you're making people turn their backs to you, put their hands above their head, and you mark X on their back with a knife because you are a gang leader. You better bring yourself outside in broad daylight to the police, like Vani Kiazolu did. This government will not tolerate lawlessness. And if you are from the opposition, there is no such thing in this country as opposition in the law. What we have in the law is a Liberian citizen. And you will be treated as a Liberian citizen with all due respect, in compliance and conformity with the law. So there will be no title for you as opposition leader. You break the law, you will be brought in as a common criminal. Period. And that is it. If you have questions for me, I'll take it. Any questions?
Okay, again, my name is James. My name is James. Honorable Minister, is it that you are now saying the government has resolved that no freedom of speech, no democracy? Because you say for the past 3 years the government was tolerant with the people, but now you are about to move. And my next question has to do with the media. When you were speaking, you sounded like somebody who is threatening the media, like you find it just a means to get at them, that if some will try to come and do their activities and maybe time catch up with them, is it going to be a threat to them that if they are in one meeting, their media process will be shut down or their lesson will be revoked?
Thank you for your questions. And this is what we normally say at times, and people think we fuss with the media. Are you trying to say, as a journalist, it's not what I'm trying to say, it's what I said that should be your focus. That's what I am trying to say. So, to address your question is simple. It's not what I'm trying to say. Ask me a question on what I said. The second question, you sounded like you're trying to threaten. No, I read a press release that says you should be in compliance by the end of March. That's what I sounded like and said. So again, this year will be different. If you say I sounded like, that's not what I sounded like. It's what I read from the press statement. If you say, are you trying to say, it's not what I'm trying to say. It's what I said.
Trying to go to the code of ethics for Liberian journalists, but let me just be very sure. You don't think what you highlighted that I'm very confused. For the issue here, when you were speaking previously, you mentioned that if the media can attack, then we too can attack. How can you interpret that statement? And according to the code of ethics of all Liberian journalists, this is our responsibility to actually educate the Liberian people about weakness there. So how can you actually reconcile this statement? If the media can attack, then we too can attack.
Thank you. I think you can watch the tape. Now we too. If the media can attack, the media can be attacked. It's what I said. And I stand by it because when you attack someone's character and malign their character as a journalist, you think you're going to go hide behind the wall? Don't they have the right to respond to you. Let me educate any journalist that needs an education here. Do your research. There is something called the fairness doctrine, where when you say something about somebody, you should give them the chance to respond. Don't write one-sided story. Check your facts. So what I'm saying to you, if you attack somebody as a journalist, get ready, they can come for you too. It's called freedom of expression, but it comes with responsibility. Thank you. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Thank you.